Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of My Blessing in Disguise 2020, a series of interviews with really cool, amazing people who are up to really interesting things in the world, in their life, in their business. And as it says on the tin, we are reflecting around everything that's happened this year. And it's pretty safe to say that everyone was somehow affected by either global pandemic or the issues that surfaced politically, socially in the world. So we are talking about how my guests found blessings and what they've learned from this whole situation, what they actually gained rather than what they lost. So today I have an amazing guest, Gary Meikle. Gary is a a Scottish comedian, but he's actually now an international star as well, a sensation, as they say. Um, Gary is viral on social media. He's known as the eyebrow guy. And I will let you, Gary, speak about that. It's such a cool story.
Okay.
Um, and yes, I'm really privileged to say that Gary is also my friend. So, Gary, I will hand it over to you. What would you like us to know about you, apart from everything that I shared about you?
Okay. Well, first of all, I'd like to point out that when you said viral, just so the audience know that that is meant in the online sense, and not on the, I guess, the STD sense. Yeah, I have went viral online. My life's been dramatically changed over the last. But I think it was 2 years ago in September past that I put out the video of my daughter, well, about my daughter, sorry, where I was ranting about her eyebrows in the car. And it's all kind of went pretty mental since then. But yeah, it's been a fun journey. It's been a fun journey. I don't know, like, how much do you want me to talk here? Because I can talk for like 40 minutes and not let you get a word in. It's totally, I'm just going to try and figure out as this goes on, like how much this is back and forth.
Let's make it back and forth. But I love listening to your stories. So
Okay.
talk away. If you have something, like if you have a lot you want to share,
Uh,
I'd love to hear a little bit more about
okay.
this eyebrow rant
Yeah.
because it's changed your life, like
It did.
literally. And it was, I'm guessing, was it pretty random that you just had this idea? I'm just going to talk about it. It wasn't like you didn't know that this is going to be it, right? You didn't
Yeah.
think too much about it. It was just
Yeah, I
spontaneous.
suppose what I'll do is I'll give people an insight because obviously most people probably won't know who I am. So I'll give people a bit of backstory. I'm 43 years old. I've been doing comedy for 7 years, and I never planned to be a comedian. It just kind of sort of happened, and I don't think I'm that funny in real life. Although some people might disagree, I just think I'm goofy and stupid. And I used to be a debt collector for 9 years. And it was while I was doing debt recovery. I was a part of the social committee in that job. And so it was my job to put out like news bulletins to the whole work industry every week. And when I would do this, like when I was putting out the lottery numbers and stuff, I would try and spice it up and make things funny. So I'd like write little daft jokes here and there. And that's when I would get emails from everyone else in the office and they would be like, "Oh, Gary, that was really funny." So I got kind of like, I guess, like confidence from that, and like, oh, and it kind of pushed me on to kind of do it more and more. And then I basically discovered that I had Microsoft Word on my computer. Now I'd been there for like 5 years at this point, and I never knew I had Microsoft Word. Right, so when I found it, I'm not. That's how much of a technophobe I am. When I found it, I was like, I said to my colleague David, I was like, I've got Microsoft Word, and he's like, Gary, we've all got it. Yeah, idiot. Like you've always had it. I was like, well, nobody told me. Right. So I started doodling in between calls, and just like writing daft little just skits that I thought were funny. And I think I was writing them with the intention of maybe one day becoming a joke writer or something. And this was all just like loose ideas in my head after getting all these compliments. But then I just thought, well, why not just go up and try stand-up comedy myself? And I Googled open mic nights in Glasgow. And there was a place called the Halt Bar on Woodlands Road, which is right across from the famous Glasgow stand. I went in there, and the guy said, "Okay, if you come back in 2 weeks, you can have 5 minutes." 2 weeks later, I came back, done 5 minutes. I got one laugh in that 5 minutes in front of like 17 people. But that one laugh was enough for
Good.
me to be like, oh my God, that was the best feeling ever. And it all just kind of snowballed from there. Now I worked from 9 till 5, Monday to Friday. So every single day that I came home, I would have my dinner and I would go out every single night doing these different open mic nights around Glasgow. And I'd done that for like nearly 2 years, just honing my craft and trying to get better. And then what happened was professionals on the circuit, they get word and there's like a new good act or whatever. And it's the people within the industry that propel you. So that's quite a good thing. It's like they hear about you, they kind of see you at different places, and then they just propel you and they put you onto paid shows, and then everything just escalates from there. But yeah, the actual iBrow rant was, do you know what it was? Like I done my first festival show. I think you were there in Edinburgh. It was in this little, well, it was like an attic. And that was my first ever Fringe festival. Now, I'd done that, it was an hour show. It went really great. I get like 4 4-star reviews, but I didn't get from it what I wanted, which was to be like noticed by maybe a big agency or something. So I thought, right, well, I'm going to take matters into my own hands and I'm going to start using social media. And the iBrow video was the 3rd video that I put out. The first 2 were that bad, I had to take them down. Like, because the 3rd one went so well, I was like, shit, I better take down the first 2. Because they weren't that great. But yeah, the iBrow one I remember, it's weird, it was on a Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and I drove around Glasgow for like 3 hours and I'd filmed this and then I'd sent Ainsley, my daughter, and I said, is this good? Should I put this out? And she went, oh, Dad, it's excellent, do it. So I put it out. Right, here's the thing what's weird. The only thing, I was doubting putting that out, right, and I'm so glad I did now. But I was doubting putting it out because, and this is stupid, right? I don't know if, in fact, this is a lesson that I think people can kind of definitely take something from. I was scared to put it out because I was scared about what my colleagues would think. I was scared about what my peers would think, about what other comedians would think. And that is the most stupid thing in the world. It's like to care. Why would anybody else care? And even if they did care, what does it matter? It's got nothing to do. And that literally nearly stopped me posting it. But I didn't, and I did put it out, and then within about 3 hours, I just seen, it's weird, when something goes viral on Facebook, you literally see the share like numbers just like multiplying. It's like a little spinner going round. And I remember being in here, actually, I was leaning against the radiator, Ainsley was on the couch, and I remember saying to her, I was like, this is going to change everything for me. I just knew it. I knew it there and then that that was going to give me a platform to basically do other stuff. And I knew that after that, it wasn't a case of just leaving that one video and not, I knew I had to then build on it. So I then started putting out other videos like basically every other week and posting like just, I was very personal, and I think you kind of have to be on Facebook. You kind of, people want to know you as a person. Mm-hmm. So I was putting out like pictures of my family, like just daft jokes about what we get up to, just giving people an insight into what I'm like as a person. And I think when you are personable like that, I think it can be quite an endearing quality, so people warm to it instead of like I do. And I'm not mentioning any names, but I know like comedians, I know famous people. I know that I don't mean I know famous people personally, but when you see their pages, they just put out work content all the time, and it's never anything personal. And it's people want that. I think people want to see that. So I did, and then everything just went crazy, and it's all been mental since then.
Yeah. Yeah, such a good point what you said. It's like when you're personal, people connect with you more, right? When you show them a little bit of the real you and not just the polished kind of performance, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt.
Your comedy, like loads of your content is all about like personal stories about your daughter, about your mom, about your family, about your granddaughter Gracie, and it's just so
because I think well, this is what I thought anyway, but a lot of the comments I get after the shows, because I do a meet and greet at every single show, and I do that again for another reason. I do that because for me that's the least I can do. If people have paid money to come and see me and they've given me their time, which is more important than money, then the least I can do is hang back and say hello and get a quick photo. But I always get the comment, like it's the material that I do is very relatable because it is real life. Like I could easily stand up on stage and go, okay, well, this chair is funny because blah, blah, blah. I don't want to be one of those clever comedians that makes everything like click together and it's got a big massive point. It's not me. I just want to tell real life stories that the audience can be like, oh my God, that happened to me, or I can totally relate to that, or hold on, somebody's trying to get me here, let me decline it. Decline. That's my daughter trying to interrupt us there. But yeah, that's what I like talking about. And I think from what I can gauge anyway, it's what the audience is really like. They like just hearing stories about my life. So yeah, and there's millions more of them to come.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. So how's my eyebrows, Gary?
Oh,
what do you think?
They're banging, aye. Do you not ask Chris? Do you ask Chris this? Do you ever ask him? No. Like, how's my eyebrows? He'd probably say, right, away you go, Basia.
But if anyone who's watching us still hasn't seen this video, you have to see it. I'm gonna attach the link to it underneath this recording, because it's honestly, Gary, through my work, through my coaching work, I'm connected to so many people all over the world, you know, and you have no idea how many times I talk to someone and we maybe kind of talk about some comedy stuff, and someone just mentioned, oh, you're from Scotland, you know, there's this guy, like, he talks about eyebrows, and I'm like, ah, Gary's my friend. And then they're like, oh my God, this is so amazing. And yeah, I remember I have a friend who I connected with, again, through coaching. He's in South Africa, and we talked about it. And then I think it was something like I tagged you under that chat and you started chatting, and then other people like said, oh, I know Gary, I love Gary's comedy. So it's just like this video like literally made you famous all over the world. Like, it's not just Scotland,
it's
right?
insane. The amount of people that have seen that, I think the views are like, there's 250 million views that's had on Facebook alone, which is just, I don't get it. I really don't understand. Like, obviously I put it out because I thought it was funny, but I don't personally think it's that funny, right? But obviously it did.
Clearly,
and I think
right?
do you know what? I think it was because, and I genuinely think this is why it was. Eyebrows have only been a massive thing. They've always been, obviously women have always cared about their eyebrows, but it's become a more cultural thing over the last 10, 15 years. Like, all these, like, the trends are changing all the time. And I think I was the first person to go in and actually have a proper rant about it, because I'd never seen anybody else do it before. And that's why I was like, okay, I'll talk about it. And I think that's what it was. It was like, oh my God, there's a guy actually talking about women's eyebrows. And that's why it just kind of, and I think everybody seemed to think I was a white van driver. You know, everybody's like, oh, you were the guy done the eyebrow video. You used to be like a white van driver, a white man. How do you say that? I can't believe I can't say that. Is it a white van man or a white man van? Do you know what I mean, don't you?
I do.
Yeah, one of them anyway. They're like, yeah, you and your little white van. I was like, I wasn't. Anyway, but yeah, it was.
Man in the van.
Yeah, a man in a van. Exactly.
Cool. Okay, so Gary, tell me, how's this year been for you?
This year started off like everybody else, I guess.
I remember at the beginning of this year, I'm pretty sure when I was in Bali, that was in January going to February, you were touring in Australia, right? You were doing.
Yeah.
So this is when you found out about the pandemic, right?
Yeah. So my new tour was meant to start in March, April time this year, so it passed. But me, I'd been in Australia for 2 months touring with my daughter and my granddaughter. I took them because I can't be away from them for that long. That would have been a nightmare. So we were out there having a great time. And here's the thing though, like, now obviously my daughter and my granddaughter live with me, but I've got time to myself here at home. Like, Gracie's at nursery, Ainsley be working, or even before I went to Australia, I was always on the road. So we weren't in each other's pockets all the time. Now, before I say this, right, everybody, I love my girls dearly, right? But when we went to Australia, because I was around them every single day, 24 hours a day, so I was looking forward to coming home and getting some peace and quiet. And then obviously I get told, no, once you get home, you need to go into lockdown with them for 2 weeks. I was like, you fucking joking me? Like, I need a break. Like, I was so looking forward to come home and getting peace and quiet. Like, during lockdown, every day was the same. I'd wake up I'd open my bedroom door, the two girls would be standing there, and I'd just shut my door right back over again. It was tough. I'm only joking, it wasn't that bad. But yeah, no, so the years...
I was hoping you were going to say you connected with your family over this period, and you're like, I just wanted to be aware.
Oh, I'm close to them anyway. Like that connection's always
Gary.
been there. But I think it's what happened was when obviously this kind of all happened, and I pretty much went from having nothing to having an amazing year. Because even though the iBrow thing was 2 years ago, it obviously took a while to get my tour in place and do the world tour. We went to America, Canada, Europe, everywhere. So, and I had an amazing time. Everything was just going like this. And then when COVID happened, everything, it just, I mean, I can't really complain too much because I know that people have lost loved ones, people have lost their houses, people have lost, like, I feel so sorry for people that have, can you imagine what it must be like for the people that have built up a business? It's taken them years to do it just before COVID, and then all of a sudden, bang, and that's their whole life like taken away from them. So I'm lucky in the respect that I will still have comedy to go back to. But it was a hard pill for me to take because I had an amazing year, and then it's just went bang. Your whole career is now on hold, and the government didn't really help either. But that's another story. But yeah, what I done was, and what I done pretty quickly, Basia. I'm very good at dealing with stuff that goes wrong because of my childhood, and I was like brought up in like I spent my teenage years in children's homes and stuff. I'm very good at adapting to tough situations, and I don't let it get me down. So what I done was I just decided, right, well, how can I make best of this time that I'm not going to be out? So what I done was I decided to join the young ones, and I noticed TikTok, and I'd never been on TikTok. Like my followers have always been like on Facebook, well, predominantly Facebook, to be honest. And I was like, I'll try this TikTok thing. And I tried it, and do you know what? I just fell in love with it because I can act like an idiot on it. Because everybody else does. You can just do what you want to do. And it was a totally different audience from Facebook. But now I have a bigger audience on TikTok. Like that has just went even more mental than I do have on Facebook. But yeah, so that's been a huge bonus to me because obviously that's brought me, excuse me, a whole different new audience now that have now started buying tickets to my shows. So it's been great in that respect. Another good thing that's happened, and this is the first time.
Okay, we're back.
We're back. Sorry, everyone. That was my daughter phoning me, and I pressed the wrong button because I'm a technophobe. So yeah, this is the first time I'll talk about this. That I have spoke about it publicly, and it's basically I was during lockdown. I've got my PR company contacted me, and they basically, like, as much as PRing for my show, what they do is like they kind of try and basically outsource me to different people and see what they can do. Now, one of the things that they think is incredible is the fact that my life story. Which is weird, right? Because I don't find it any different. Like I get that to other people it might be really different, but to me, because I've lived it, it's completely normal. And what I mean by that is obviously being in care, like getting moved all across the country by my loving mother. Obviously, my mum we just moved around a lot, and because of that, I found it really hard to settle in places. I was bullied and all these kind of things. And then obviously with my daughter being born when I was 17 and her mum walking out when she was 2 years old, and now the fact that I'm a granddad, pretty much I'm the main male role model in Grace's life. So all these things combined is apparently really interesting, and it's a really interesting story. So the PR thought it would be good, and there's a possibility to put that, it would be good for a TV show essentially. So they got in touch with a production company. And yeah, the production company got in touch. We had a big Zoom call, and they suggested that I go away. And what they wanted me to do was write what's called, oh God, what's it called again? No, I'm going to forget this. Anyway, basically, you write a couple of pages about not like dialogue or anything, just you as a character, what you like as a person, blah blah blah. a treatment. That's it. They wanted me to write a treatment. So I went away. I couldn't do this treatment. Here's the thing. I've never, see, because I'm dyslexic, I don't write much. Like even my shows, it's all up here and I'll work it out on stage. I'll write bullet notes. And you might have, if you've ever read any of my posts, you'll probably notice I'm dyslexic, right? But anyway, so I couldn't write the treatment. But what I'd done was, excuse me, and this is mental, I just started writing my life story. And I never in a million years thought I could do anything like that. And within a week, I had a 52-page script of my life story, basically starting from when Ainsley was 13 years old, because we thought that would be a good, and my manager, David Hopkins, who's an amazing guy, he obviously like spell checked, he'd done all that once, and he helped me kind of write bits of it as well. But once, it starts from when Ainsley was 13, because I don't think it would be good on TV if she's much younger, because at 13, that's a very important age for girls, because they're just obviously developing, and obviously she can become an important character in it then. So anyway, that's where it starts from. And I'd written a 52-page script. We sent it back to this production company, and they loved it. They absolutely loved it. So there's a couple of twists. So like what they wanted was to buy the script off me, but they couldn't guarantee me that I would be in it. And that was a flat no for me, because I wasn't doing it to be a writer. And I was told, Gary, this is an amazing opportunity. This is like a huge production company. Like this is your foot in the door. But I was like, I don't care. It's like my comedy is my career. On stage is my career. I'm not going to sell the rights to my life story for what was a minimal amount, right? And not even then get to be in it. Like the only reason I was doing it is so that if I can play me, like nobody is getting to play me in my life story except for me. It's as simple as that. And what I had to do was, and I came to terms with it really quickly. I was like, right, well, will I be able to accept the fact that if I say no and I don't get anything else, nothing else comes from this, will I be happy with that? And I was like, and it took me like 2 seconds to decide it. I'm like, yeah, I'm totally at peace with that. Again, because it wasn't anything that I'd originally planned and had in mind anyway. So I was already at peace with the decision, even though the PR company were not. They were like properly trying to push me to do this. And I was like, nah, it's not happening. So anyway, I said no. I rejected this offer. And then about 2 months later, another production company got in touch. Went through the same thing with them, and they were instantly like, you can totally play yourself. You can 100, like there's no, at the end, they seen it the way I seen it. Like it's, see, there's no guarantee this will get on TV. Obviously, once everything's written, then what happens is we'll be doing a pilot show once we're able to, and then that gets put in front of commissioners and the TV commissioners, and then they'll decide, right? So there's no guarantee that it will get on TV, but it's a 50-50 chance. But I just love the fact that that production company were all behind me being me, because they agreed that it's, for an audience's point of view, it's going to be so much more authentic. Like if people turn it on and they see this thing, like they see me on TV in this 6-part series sitcom about a guy who's raised his daughter and granddaughter, and they find out that, oh my God, this is actually the guy playing himself. It's going to be so much more appealing. That's what I think anyway, and that's what, and thankfully this production company thinks. So yeah, so that's like a pretty huge thing, and we're getting cracking on that as from January. We've got 12 months to basically finalise the kind of the pilot script. Get like it's not even a treatment, it's called, there's another word for it. Can't remember what that is, but anyway, it's something that you put in front of the commissioners, and they decide whether they want it or not. So it's exciting. But
wow,
that's
really awesome. I mean, congratulations. I'm so like happy that you were so bold and you just said no to the first offer, because like you just didn't want to compromise. I just love it, because
totally.
I think many people would just take it like wherever they want to give me, right? But
I mean, it's like and I'm a nobody, do you know what I mean? In the grand scheme of things, I'm just some guy who's happened to have a lucky break in comedy. Don't get me wrong, I deserve it because I'm funny, right? But this is what I'm talking about. I don't want to name them, but they're a huge production company, and people were literally thinking I was mental. they're like, Gary, you need to, like, this is your opportunity. But I just kept being like, no, if they want me to, and I even said, if they want me to write something else, like make up another, I'll happily do it. But this is my life story. Like, I'm just not willing to hand that away. And there's no way anybody else is playing me. That's just not happening. So I'm glad that I stuck to my guns. And hopefully that's something that I'll be able to look back on one day and be like, that was the moment. That was the best choice, the best decision that I ever made. But I was totally, honestly, like I said, the minute I made the decision, I was totally at peace with it. I'm like, no, I'm fine. If nobody else wants it in the future, that's fine. I'll always have my stand-up career. That's what I want more than anything anyway. I'm not necessarily, I've never wanted to be an actor. I mean, I'll do it. And the reason I will do it again is because I'll be playing myself and my story, but also because that will help enhance my comedy career. Like if that does go on TV on any channel, then that's going to give me a bigger audience, and that audience will then come to my shows. That's what I want. Like I'm just in love with being on stage and telling jokes. That's my passion. 100%.
Yeah, it sounds like it will like beautifully complement what you're already doing, right?
Yeah, I hope so.
Nice. Yep. And I think it will actually, it will make you even more, easy to connect with and personable for your audience, right? Because they will like, people love stories, especially like you have, I mean, you said your story is like ordinary for you because it's your life story. It's so close to you that it's like, but for when I first heard your story, I remember, was it about a year ago or so, you did a video, like a kind of short documentary where you shared about basically where you came from, how you grew up, and how you built your life from there, and what motivated you, what drove you from, what was your drive from there. I found it really inspiring, and I think it will really inspire many people, especially people who come from, from maybe underprivileged backgrounds and didn't have this like chance straight away in life to be great, to do something amazing. I think it's really
that's one of the reasons why I done it. I found it hard to accept, but I'm getting better at this now. I found it hard to accept in the beginning that I was like seen as a role model to young kids that are in children's homes and in care. And I was like, no, I'm not that. And I don't know where that kind of part of it comes from, but I'm getting better at accepting it now. And but I just thought, well, if they can see that video, because that video, what we done was we that's been now sent to every children's home in the UK to watch. I don't know if they've all watched it, but if it gives just one kid, if one kid can watch that and be like, oh my God, there's a chance for me, then that's amazing. And that's one of the big reasons why I put it out, because I just wanted people to know that it doesn't matter where you come from. The most important thing is that you believe in yourself. It's paramount above everything else. It really is.
That's really beautiful. So if I could actually go a little bit deeper there, if you since you're talking about it anyway, what made you believe in yourself? Like where did you find this confidence in yourself, or this belief in yourself?
I genuinely don't know, and I've been asked this before. It's I don't know. I've just always had. I think I'm a self-talker, and I found it. Well, I heard recently that some people don't actually have a voice in their head that talks to them all the time. But I don't know if I do. Like
totally
it's not
do.
Just, and it's not.
I talk to myself out loud.
But I've always had that, and I've always had this underlying feeling that everything was going to be okay. I've just always had it, regardless of every, and I think I've maybe used it as a security, a safety mechanism, especially when I was younger, like going through, like I was always, because we moved around a lot, I was always the new kid in whatever school I went to. So I was always bullied. And I always it was just my coping mechanism. I was always like, things are going to be okay. I'm going to get through this. And I don't know where that came from, though. I can't pinpoint a specific time when it started or how I got it. I'm grateful, massively grateful that I had it, because I think if everybody had that, especially that goes through traumatic times, then it might be easier for them. I don't know if it's something you can self-teach. I hope so. But yeah, I'm massively grateful that I had that. inner belief. And I never spoke about it. Don't get me wrong, I never sat down in my bed and was like, I'm going to be all right. It wasn't that kind of a thing. It was just like an overall kind of like feeling that
Oh my
I knew
gosh,
I was going to be
Gary,
okay.
I now need to say this.
Okay.
And I don't know, maybe to you, I'm going to sound a little bit woo-woo. People who are watching, like my audience, they know that I'm super woo-woo and I talk about these things a lot. So I kind of want to speak to what you just said.
Okay.
So I do believe, and like I really firmly believe that we all have, you know, this inner wisdom. It's innate in us, and it doesn't speak through our intellect. It doesn't speak through our thinking. It speaks through the feeling to us. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we are always okay. We have everything we need to succeed, to be everything we want to be. The problem with some people is, with many of us, with most people, I would say, is that we get so caught up in the intellectual thinking and the loopy habitual thinking and this
Mm-hmm.
noise in our heads that we actually don't listen to this feeling. We kind of, because this feeling is more subtle. It's more subtle than this kind of noise in our heads.
Yeah.
So I'm just so happy that you said that it wasn't the voice, it was kind of the feeling within you.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I
yeah,
just
yeah.
had to interject it here.
Oh, I'm glad that's made you happy.
I'm just, okay, I've done
Yeah.
me, now you do you.
No, it's fine, man. It's good. I'm glad that it's actually nice to hear that you've kind of you kind of know what I'm talking about.
Totally.
Because it's and it was there for. Here's the thing though, I didn't like I said again, even though I had it all through my childhood, and even after I left the children's home, it was always there. Like in between the ages of 16 and 30, I was a massive drinker. Like, and I didn't have any goals or aspirations at that point in my life either. My life up until, I would probably say about 26, 27, for the years following that is when I weaned myself off. Don't get me wrong, I'm not an alcoholic. I never woke up once and went, I need a drink, but I still drank every day. Me and my friend, like, basically, and I know this is terrible, but even when I'm fine with it, and I've spoke to Ainsley about it, even though I had Ainsley, I was still drinking. I was never like falling about over the couch or like that sort of a thing, but I was still drinking all the time. And it was just me and my friend. We would sit in at night and we'd be on the computer. We would do nothing. But again, I still always had this innate feeling, as you'd say, like there's something better out there for me. And I always knew that I was going to be okay. And it was once Ainsley started getting to the age where she was asking about the alcohol. Do you know what I mean? She got to an age where I couldn't like kid on it was something it wasn't anymore. You know what I mean? It was like I was like, I need to actually screw the nut here and put an effort in really. And into myself more than not Ainsley, because she always got the love and affection from me regardless, but more into myself and doing something for myself. So what I done was I cut myself off from that specific friend. And then I slowly started integrating back into society. I managed to, that's when I went to do debt recovery for like 9 years. And things just slowly, gradually started to get better. So everything for me, like I'm 43 now, and I'm still a work in progress. We all are. But I'm at a stage now where it's taken me this long to get here. Do you know what I mean? Like it's been a long, it wasn't like I woke up one day and went, right, okay, I know what I'm doing with my life. It's been a long, gradual process, and I love it. I'm actually more happy now than I have ever been in my life before. And I think that's just, I don't know, it's a bit of wisdom, a bit of, I'm totally secure within who I am as a person. I know who I am. I'm confident about where my life's going. I know that it's me that's in control. I don't have any negativity attached to me. I've cut off everything. Whenever anything comes into my life that's toxic or any sort of I will just, and I don't care if it's friends, family members. I've cut off family members. Like I do not have an issue. If it's somebody that's not gonna, I don't want this to sound selfish, but add to my well-being, then I'm just going to cut them off. And I don't get me wrong, I don't necessarily do it in a bad way, but I'll just like, you know what I mean? I just take myself away from that situation. I'm very self-aware now of who I am and where I need to go, and I'm just happy, man. I'm just happy.
That's
Yeah.
really beautiful what you said, that it's not really selfish. I don't think it is selfish. I think, you know, if we don't take care of ourselves, our well-being, no one will, right? And you know, there are so many people who really forget about themselves, and they please everyone. We all
Yeah.
have people pleasers in us since childhood,
Yeah.
and you know, some more than others, but we kind of want to make sure everyone else is okay, and then we forget about ourselves, and then there's this kind of like, you know, first of all, there's this resentment built up because how come like you're given, you know, other people so much, and then you kind of feel like something is missing. So I just love what you said, you know.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
it's totally true, man. And like, I think a big part of it, see, because I am totally confident and comfortable with who I am now, it is an amazing feeling, because again, it's like, even though again, everybody's a work in progress, I know who I am, but do you know what I love the fact that I'm in a position now that I can, because I am happy and content within myself, I can willingly give things to other people. Like for example, like the children's home thing. I was meant to open up this charity last year, but because of COVID, well, not last year, I was meant to open it up in March once I started touring again, but because of COVID, it's been put on a back burner. So I'm going to be opening up a charity where a big chunk of the money that I make from each show goes towards, what I'm doing is, instead of giving money to the children's home, I'm opening. It's going to be like a big kitty for them. So, see, for example, the kids that leave care, they need like money for driving lessons, or say they're interested in playing the guitar, they need guitar lessons, anything like that. Then I'm going to have like a kitty for them. So they'll have to like subscribe for it individually, but it's something that I want to do and give back to the kids, because I know what it was like for me back then. I didn't have anybody. I didn't have anything. There was nobody there to help me. There's no funds. I think it might be a little bit different now, but it's just something I want to do. And it's, do you know what? Here's something I struggle with. See, because I'm going to do that, right? And see, because I gave money, like see the gig I done in Glasgow last year, I gave every penny of that to Ronald McDonald House. And and I love, right, here's the thing though, and I kind of struggle with this a little bit, and this is the first time I'm admitting this as well. I see, it makes me feel good to do that, like to give things, to give people things, and I kind of feel like, is that a little bit selfish? Because I'm getting that, I'm doing it because it makes me feel good. Do you know what I mean? I'm giving money to charity because it makes me feel good. I'm going to be giving this, we're starting up this charity for these kids because it makes me feel good. So then I'm like, and I'm kind of struggling with this, right? My daughter genuinely believes I might have Asperger's, right? But that's a whole nother subject. But I'm kind of like, I feel a little bit selfish because I'm doing it because it makes me feel good. Is that wrong? Do you know what I mean? It's not the only reason I'm doing it, but it's, when I'm doing it, I'm like, I don't know, it's just something I've got a little bit of conflict with. I'm not going to stop doing it, obviously, but yeah.
No, thanks for saying that, and I'll tell you how I see it, if you don't mind me saying. So I see it that, you know, as humans, like everyone, innately we have the need to contribute, right? And when we contribute, we obviously feel good about ourselves, because that's like the highest value that we have deep down within us. And, you know, like in the kind of, especially the Western culture, I think many people have their values like wrong, meaning like they think that they value, you know, like comfort, money, blah, 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 right? But actually, you know, the real values, the innate values that are in us, I believe it's contribution, it's helping others, it's doing something that is bigger than yourself. And of course, like when you do it, of course you're going to feel good about yourself. So
yeah, I've got conflict with that though. I don't know, it's not massively, but it's just that I kind of just like, I give myself into trouble. It's weird. I'm just like, but again, that's like touching what I said on there about the Asperger's thing. My daughter, I'm actually going to be going to see her. I don't mind talking about this either. Like, I'm going to be going to a doctor. I don't know when I guess build up the courage to do it. I basically took, see, you can do an autism test online. And I took that like a year and a half ago, and I was 1 point away from being told to go and see a doctor. So like, I think, because it's weird, even because I do what I do, I can be really strange around certain people and certain groups of people. People expect, see, because I'm a comedian, they think I'm the life and soul of the party when I'm so not. See, if I'm at a party and there's like a group of guys and they're all like vying for attention, I'll back off from that situation. I'm the least, like, I don't want to be centre of attention off stage. And I've just got lots of really kind of strange, I guess, unusual habits that my daughter's like, Dad, you need to go. But here's the thing, I don't know if the reason why I've not actually went to see about it It's because I know it's not going to make a difference to the way I live my life. Do I really need to know?
I just wanted to say, does it disrupt your life really? Or is it just you would like a label? Would you feel better if you had a label?
Yeah. That's exactly what's kind of stopped me going. And I've heard a lot of people saying as well that most of us are to some degree on the spectrum, as I think the terminology is used. I think we're all kind of got our own quirks and like unusual habits and things we do. Mine are a little bit extreme, and I'm not going to tell you them all because I'm not going to do that. But yeah, that's just something else. But okay. What else would you like to know? What else would you like to talk about?
I would like to know, actually, still staying with this year. I mean, so you already shared with me that this year gave you opportunity to actually write your life story, which is going to become something hopefully bigger than you even expected. So that's beautiful. What about your comedy? How's your, I'm kind of curious, and probably everyone who's watching is, have you created new content, new material based on this year? Is the new tour, what's the name of the new tour? Because I looked at it and I just forgot, it just slipped my mind right now.
It's called Surreal.
Exactly. Is this about this year?
Well, let's put it this way. Like the Surreal, I think it's definitely a title that I've not had to change because I think that will fit in really well with because everything that's happened this year has been surreal. The show was initially more stories about my life experiences and like old family situations, and obviously how life has developed with me, Ainsley and Gracie. And there's parts of that I'm keeping in, but obviously because of what's happened, I have now had to adapt, and I have, yes, there is lots of stories now. I think it's more opinions, to be honest. Because again, like my comedy is predominantly real life stories that happen, funny situations between me and my girls. But I'm starting to, and I was starting to do this anyway, but I'm starting to include my opinions more. Because I don't know, I think they're funny. So I think, yeah, this new show is going to be more opinionated. And there's definitely going to be a lot of talk about COVID and the vaccine, which because a couple of people have said to me, like, why have you not put any jokes online, like about the vaccine and like the COVID? And I'm like, I am saving it all for stage. Like, I've got a lot to say, right, but I am not, because I've noticed, like, I made one wee joke. And what did I say online? I said something about, I was like, I'll take the vaccine. I said, and I don't care how I get it. I says, they can put it in a straw and blow it up my arse if they want. I am taking the vaccine, right? Now, that was just a wee throwaway joke, and I got some amount of shit for that. Like, people are like, oh, I can't believe you're advocating taking the vaccine. Like, what happened to personal choice? Like, I'm allowed a personal opinion. Like, that's like, do you argue with people because of their religion? Do you know what I mean? Like, because I don't believe in God. I wouldn't dream of arguing with somebody because they do. Like, it's just online there is so much opinions, and I've learned really quickly that you're better off to keep your opinions, especially on big topical subjects, to yourself online, because there will always be opposing opinions and people that are only too happy to get on and argue with you. And the fact of the matter is, like, that comment that I made was just a joke as well. I didn't actually say I was going to take the vaccine, which, by the way, I will, right? And that is a personal choice of mine. And I have the right to that personal choice. So I just find it weird that people would come on and like proper try and like they were telling me that I was trying to advocate it. And because I've got such a big audience, I was like trying to make, I was inadvertently making people take the vaccine. Like, oh, fuck off. It's just an opinion. Jesus, man. Yeah.
It's going to become a PR scandal.
I know. Do you know what I mean? I'm so sorry that I want to take a vaccine and that I trust science. Oh my God. But yeah, the reason I've not spoke about that is because I've got a whole quite a big bit on it, and I'm just, yeah, the first 10 minutes of my show is just
yeah.
It's funny though.
I was curious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because obviously this is still going on, and this is still quite, triggering subject. I mean, not just vaccines, I'm talking like the whole pandemic, right? It's very
Yeah.
triggering for some people. So I wonder, like, from the stand-up comedian point of view, do you create content, and do you ever think like, gosh, is this a good idea to go, like, is it still too sensitive or not? Or
Yeah.
do you just trust that your followers will kind of understand that you're just taking the
Yeah.
piss, but you don't actually mean it in a bad way?
Yeah. Oh, listen, I think every single comedian will have a different angle and they will talk about it. Here's the thing though, it's talking about stuff online and talking about stuff on stage is two completely different worlds. Like, I could write something online and somebody would have an opposing opinion on it, but I guarantee if I was on stage and they were in an audience, and they would laugh along with everybody else, because there's something about the magic of comedy. When I say something and it just disappears into the air, then nobody can, like, don't get me wrong, people can try and heckle me if they're brave enough, but but when you're online, it's completely different. So I think that most of us are saving it for on stage, and that's when and I think it's just about making it funny, and I believe that you can make pretty much anything. Well, 99% of things you can make funny, and this is just too good and too big of us. I think if I was to go on stage when my tour starts and not mention it, I think people would be like, "Why? Surely, do you know what I mean? You've got to address it. You have to." And I will love doing it. So yeah. So that was a long answer. Yes, I am going to talk about.
I can't wait for it. You're going to be touring the UK this year. I mean, next year, right? I looked at your website and I could see only UK dates.
Yeah, we've only booked in the UK just now because we've had to move the whole tour twice. So now it's due to start in April. Fingers crossed it goes ahead. But the reason we're not booking in the rest of the world yet is we just need to wait until everything unfolds with COVID and see what happens from there. If we have to move the UK dates again, which I hope we don't, well, we've kept a couple of months spare next year. So fingers crossed, I should definitely still be able to do Europe, Canada and Australia next year. America will be a struggle purely because of the whole visa situation. But yeah, who knows what will happen. We shall see.
My gosh, super exciting. So much going on for you.
I love touring. I love it.
You do, yeah. So I've got one more question before we wrap up. What did you learn from this year that you wouldn't have learned, or what did you notice? What kind of insights you had just thanks to this whole situation this year?
Oh God, that's a good one. What have I learned this year more than any other year? This is going to sound actually the opposite from what you want. I'm sorry, but
go for it. Humor me.
To not value other people's opinions as much. That's something I have really learned this year. It's like I'm lucky. I don't get that much negativity on my pages, right? But see, when I get, it's mostly people like telling me how much they like my comedy and how great they think videos are. And I used to really like, oh my God, and it used to give me such a sense of like just overwhelming like confidence. And then when I would get a bad comment, like there could be 900 good comments, and that one bad comment would be the one I focus on, and it wouldn't destroy me, right? But it could ruin my day easily. And then this year, it's given me a lot of time just to start and think. And I've actually been watching a lot of self-help talkers like is it Tony Robbins, Gary Vaynerchuk, these guys, and I think they're great. Not just the fact that they're full of positivity, but they give you so many concepts and ideas on how to deal with things. And anyway, sorry, I'm going off on a tangent. What was the question again?
What have you learned this year?
Oh yeah. I have learned not to value other people's opinions as much. So basically when I do get bad comments now, I for some reason, and I don't know how I've got to it, but I'm like, it doesn't bother me. Whereas last year it did, this year it doesn't. And I think so what I'm doing is when I get good comments, I'm still valuing them, but they don't give me like an overwhelming, I'm like, oh, that's lovely, thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously a big part of my thing as well is I love replying to, I spend at least an hour a day replying to people, people's comments and thanking them, because it's just, I know how good it makes them feel. Just the fact that I've replied and that I've appreciated their comments, it's a nice thing to do. But what that's also allowed me to do is that I've devalued the negative comments. So it's kind of came in like it's balanced itself out, whereas now I don't value one above the other. Like I appreciate the good comments, I don't appreciate the bad ones, but I don't value them any differently. They don't have any acknowledgement. They don't have any control over my emotional state. I think that's.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. That's actually such a beautiful. Oh, that's my doggy. Just came in.
I thought it was a cat. I was about to say, what's your cat's name?
No. It's my doggy. That's Millie.
Oh, no, I've been
my
seeing
little
the
baby girl.
Past, yeah.
I really love it. I really love what you said. And you know what? It's totally not like, because you said like, I'm sure you probably expected something else. No, that I think that's such a valid point, because I think, you know, we really do rely, especially in the era of social media, we kind of get this kick out of getting likes and love online and everything. Mm-hmm. And then when someone criticizes us, it's like the end of the world for us, you know, our little ego crumbles. So I just love, especially for like someone, you know, like you, who's like now quite well known, you know, internationally, and you're all over social media. I think it's such a great place to be, you know, where you're so grounded that you don't really care about the haters, and you know, obviously you appreciate people who love you, and you obviously show them your appreciation by replying to their comments, by, you know, by kind of showing how you value that, but you don't rely on it for your,
yes,
you know,
exactly.
you don't need this approval, right?
I wish I could explain how I got to that though, but I can't.
It's just something to ask.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Sorry. I don't know. Again, it's just
overnight. You think?
Yeah. I guess it's just again that thing where I don't know. I suppose this year, kind of sitting back and taking stock, and just realizing what's really important, which is obviously family first and foremost, and being content and grateful for what you've got, because I have had everything ripped away from me career-wise. Don't get me wrong, it will continue once. That's the thing, because I've had to make sure that I stay relevant, like during this whole period. So I've been working just as hard, but it's been good. I've actually enjoyed being in lockdown, and not, because again, it's given me more time with the girls, and just more time to kind of grow as a person. I've been doing a lot more. Like I love watching positivity videos. Like I've always got them on in the background, always. Especially Gary Vaynerchuk right now, who I love. Some people might not like him because he swears a lot, but I love him. I think he's fantastic. And I guess it's just what you take out of it, isn't it? Like what I'll normally do, I'll watch these things in the morning, and it just kind of sets me up for the day. While I'm getting ready, I've got that self-help kind of motivational video in the background. And I know some people are going to be like, well, that's bollocks, right? That's fair enough. It's not for everyone, but I would tell everybody to try it just to see what it does for them, because for me it uplifts me, and it kind of gets me especially again watching Gary Vaynerchuk, because that makes me actually take action and do stuff. Like there's been some days where I've been like, oh, I can't, I've not got the energy to post something today. I've not got the energy to film this video today, and I'll put Gary V on, and he's like, okay, do it now, and I'm like, all right, Gary. So it's kind of like, do you know what I mean? It's that sometimes you need that little kick just to. Because that's what it's all about. We can all like dream and fantasize about what we need to do, and I'm going to do that, but you need to take action. You need to take action. You need to do it.
Great point. Yeah. It's so easy to just like get stuck in trying to figure things out before we do things, right? And I just see it so much through like in my coaching work, and actually I've seen it so much in myself, you know, trying to getting ready to get ready, you know, that thing where you try to lose weight before you go to the gym so that you look good enough in your sports gear. So yeah, this kind of figuring things out, it doesn't work. Like you just go and do it, and this is how you figure things out. So I just love it.
Definitely.
Gary, oh my goodness, it's been such a beautiful conversation. You are
Oh,
such
thank
an
you.
inspiration. I just love everything you do, but also I love that you shared this story with a little bit of, vulnerability as well. And I love just the work you also do, the charity, sharing your story, inspiring the kids, and
Thank
giving
you.
hope to people. I think sometimes actually, when I think about the question that I asked you before, what kept you going? I think sometimes it's just hope that people need to keep going, and I think you're spreading
Yeah.
that. That's really
Oh,
beautiful.
thank you. It's been a pleasure. You've made it very easy for me. So
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much for your time. Have a
no
beautiful
problem at all.
Christmas, Gary.
You too.
I hope you spend beautiful time with your girls, and all the best for 2021. I
Thank you
can't
very
wait to
much,
see
Bassett. Bye
what's.
bye, everyone else. Thank you very much.
Thanks everyone for watching, and also happy Christmas, everyone. Have a beautiful time with your families. Mwah, loads of love.
Bye.